All right, everyone, so now I'm gonna make the icing for the cakes. And the package that it comes with only comes with enough to do the top. So I got some stuff to make some more icing to ice the whole cake and to decorate it with. So we're doing the vanilla cake pink and the pumpkin cake purple. So first we're gonna add in the cake mix and the icing mix. And then here's the other one that I already made, is the pink one. And that's the vanilla cake. And the pumpkin cake is gonna be purple. And then we just need 2 tablespoons of water. The other one did take a little bit more, so I'm guessing this one's going to take a little bit more as well. I couldn't find our tablespoon measuring, so I'm only using the half a tablespoon. I just did it in a cup because it was a little bit easier. That way I don't have to keep walking back and forth to the sink. There's that. And then we just gotta whip it together till it's nice and smooth. Just gonna dump a little bit more water in here because the other one took more. Alright, so now it's nice and smooth. It's a little more watery than the other one, but that's okay. So now that it's nice and smooth, we're going to go ahead and add the food coloring in. And this one's going to be purple. And I did check with my vet beforehand to make sure that the food coloring was okay for dogs and that it's not going to harm him, and he said it's fine. And I just added a few more drops of food coloring because it's not quite the color I wanted yet. I want it a little bit darker. Because I made it a little bit too watery, I'm just going to mix in some whole wheat flour, try and help thicken it up some. And I'll let it sit for a minute too to see if that helps or not. Add a few more drops of food coloring, try and make it a little darker so you can't see the flour. There we go. Now it's coming out the color purple that I want. It's more purpley, less lavendery. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. It's kind of thickening up some now. Right. So there we go. So that's the purple. Alright, and then I got a spatula. I'm going to use the spatula to spread the frosting on the cake just because it is a little bit easy. And I'm going to be very careful with this one because it's kind of cracked in the middle. So the cake's kind of falling apart. I'm just going to scoop it up. Make sure all the food coloring did mix well. And then gonna, because this one's a little bit more liquidy, it's gonna be easier to pour it. So I'm just gonna pour it on the cake. And spread it around. Making sure I'm covering the whole top with this frosting. A little harder with it being a little bit more watery than the other one. It's not wanting to stick to the cake as well, but that's okay. The nice thing about dogs is they don't judge you based on how it looks. All they care about is how it tastes. So here's the top of this one. It's a nice pretty shade of a purple there. So I'm going to move it aside and let the icing kind of harden to the cake. Alright, so now I'm going to make the other half of the icing because the one that the box cake set came with didn't have enough. So this one's a simple, easy recipe. It's just peanut butter and Greek yogurt in the food coloring. So I just need 1/4 of a cup of peanut butter, 1/4 of a cup of peanut butter. Now we use creamy because crunchy sometimes it's not good for dogs. And then the important thing with the peanut butter is I made sure it had no xylitol or birch sugar in it, which is an artificial sweetener that's used in some peanut butter. It's used a lot in gum and toothpaste, and it can be very toxic to dogs. So I made sure I was very careful, and I made sure it did not have any of that in it. Then we're going to do 1/2 cup of just plain Greek yogurt. Now that I've got that, I'm gonna mix the peanut butter and the Greek yogurt together. And I'm gonna add some food coloring. I'm gonna make this one blue. So I'm gonna use this as icing. And this is coming out more as a bluish greenish color, which is okay. It's because the peanut butter is brown, so it's dark. And then adding the food coloring, it's just making it a little bit more like a blue greenish color. So as you can see, that's the color it is. It's more of a blue green than just a blue, but that's okay. Use the spatula to finish frosting the cake. And I'm just going to use it on the one vanilla cake because the purple on the other cake was more watery, so it kind of dripped down the cake, and I like the way that looks. So I'm just going to leave that how it is, but I wanted to color the sides of this one at least. I'm just going to scrape off some because I kind of used a lot and I want very little. So we're going to scrape off some of the extra icing from here, the blue. All Alright, so I scraped a lot of it back off because I just wanted it to have kind of a cool look, kind of like how this one has that drizzled look to it because the icing was a little more watery than I originally wanted. I wanted this one to have some sort of cool look too. So I just kind of have it have a little bit of a bluish tint to it on the bottom. But I didn't want to use too much because I don't want the dogs to get sick. So what I'm going to use with the rest of the icing is I'm going to use it to decorate it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this icing into a Ziploc bag. And then I've got some tips I'm going to use to make different designs. Alrighty, so now I'm going to write happy birthday on the cakes and I'm going to add some decorations. So to do that I just took the frosting that was in the bag and we cut a tip into the Ziploc bag and put the little insert of the tip in the bag. It's just going to come out as I squeeze it. So you can see this one says Happy Birthday Pixie. And this one says Happy Birthday Luna. Then around the edge of it we're going to add some little flowers. So I'm going to pull this out. The icing's in one bag and the tips is in the other because the one bag, the hole was too big when we cut it. So I'm just going to switch out the tips. Like this. Like that. And then making sure the whole of this bag is towards the tip so that it goes in the tip, not just around it. Close it out. I'm going to attempt to add some flowers, and I'm just using the same color as the words just because it's a little easier.
That was going to be our birthday today.
Just added some flowers along the edge, like that. So as you can see, I added some flowers. So as you can see, I added some flowers to both of them. And now we're going to add the finaling touch. The one cake came with sprinkles, but we're going to use them on both cakes. Alright, now they are officially done. So here you have our pumpkin flavored cake with purple frosting. And this one's Luna's. And over here I have our vanilla flavored cake with pink frosting on top, a little bit of the blue around it, and then the blue for the wording with the sprinkles on top. All right, now that it's all done, I put them on nice clean plates, and I'm going to show you guys the whole thing. So this is the Pixie's cake. It's the vanilla flavored. We have the pink icing and then the bluish green icing along the side and on the top for the wording. So there's that one. Then we've got Luna's cake, which is the pumpkin flavored cake with the purple frosting. Then we have the bluish green icing for the butterings and the flowers. And then they both have sprinkles on them. And then this one has a nice drizzle along the side because I made the frosting a little too watery, but that's okay because it actually ended up looking pretty cool with the little drizzle down the side. So these are the cakes for the party tonight. Alright everyone, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the cakes being frosted, and I hope you enjoyed the way they came out. I'm going to try and get some videos from the party, and I'll do my best, but I can't make any promises.